to another episode of Purpose Driven Chance. I'm your host, William Grayson, with my lovely co-host today is Miss Leslie Davis. How you doing, Leslie? And
I'm fine, thank you.
today we got worldwide fashion designer Malcolm Staples. How you doing, Malcolm?
Hey, I'm doing fine. How y'all?
Fine.
Good.
So, Mr.
Doing just
Malcolm,
fine.
yep. So
I've been so excited to get you on here.
All right.
This
Thanks.
isn't my podcast, but I'm behind the scenes.
Okay. I appreciate the invite. I love this. This is great.
yeah, I know. Thank you, Mr. Malcolm. Now, I want to ask you the first question I got for you. Can you describe a pivotal moment in your career that set your course for worldwide recognition? Like, what was the biggest thing that, bam, everybody know you now?
I tell you, it just started with a decision to go into this business. I left a job that I was making six figures, and I was in a job a long time, and I was a manager. I had comfort, I had security, I had tenure, I had longevity, I had all of it. But I wanted to do something that was always in my heart, and I felt like if there was ever a time for me to make a transition, that was it. So they did this thing where they asked all the managers, and I was a manager, that we're going to do a one-time buyout. Anybody who want to take this chunk of money, they take the chunk of money and they leave, and you take a reduced pension. Now, I wasn't old enough to retire, and I didn't have the years of service to retire, but I decided that if I was going to ever do it, this was the time where I could possibly start my business without going out and getting a bank loan and getting into debt. So I said, I'm doing it. Now, everybody in my family, including my twin brother, and everybody thought I was stupid, because they said, well, why would you leave a job with this kind of security, this kind of whatever, and you're going to go do something that you have no earthly idea how it's going to turn out? And that was the reason why. I said, because it's something I wanted to do, and you live life once and you just never know. And I always felt like if all else failed and I didn't make it, I can go back and get a job. So
there you go.
I'm going to do it. And I was scared, and it was a very risky thing, because, when you got that kind of security, man, you get comfortable. We call it the golden handcuffs. And I was in the golden handcuffs. I didn't want to go nowhere because I didn't have to, and I was comfortable, and everything was on time. The check came on time. Everything was on time. But the thing about it was, there was no other job in the company that I wanted. And I figured if this is what it's going to be, this is it. Then I figured there's another level to me. So I decided to take a leap of faith, and I stepped out, and I decided to take the money, and I did. And so the pivotal moment was that decision, because, there was no guarantees. But what happened was, through all of that, there were a lot of things that happened that got in my way. Like, one of the most significant things that happened to me early on as a new designer is I met a preacher in Washington, D.C., and his name was Bishop Glenn Staples. Now, we have the same last name, but we're not related. He has a big church here in D.C. And what I did, in talking about the pivotal moment, I took a risk. I bought a full-page ad in Black Enterprise magazine at the time. Black Enterprise magazine, for all intents and purposes, was the largest magazine source that reached the most people that look like us and buy from us. So I decided to say, okay, there's nothing I can do that I can get my clothes in front of this many eyeballs. So the salesperson said, look, do you want to purchase an ad in our biggest issue of the year, which is September? And I said, yeah. I said, well, how much is a one-page ad? He said that one-page ad is $24,200.
What?
Wow.
Now, okay, you got to follow me on this one. So, 24,000. Now, I was in shock, like, just hearing. I said that is some crazy stuff. But I kept thinking. I said, Black Enterprise has 2.1 million subscribers, and I said, how and what can I do ever in the life that can have this potentially this many people watching my stuff for one concentrated moment in a month?
Wow.
And I just said, okay. So some of that same money that I took from the job, I took that money and I bought an ad. Now it took me 10 days to put that money at that time in the mail, because I just said, I'm losing this money. This money gone for 1 month. But I took that $24,200 check to Black Enterprise, and I just hoped and prayed that it was going to pan out. So I remember the first day when the magazine came out, it was their big issue in September, which they do the top 100 businesses or big Black business owners or whatever. I had Prime Real Estate right behind that section where they had my big old picture behind they almost kind of assumed that I was one of them, but I wasn't. So, so what happened? The first day it came out, I got no calls. No one called me. My number was on there. I didn't hear anything. I was scared. And then the second day, I got a few ministers who called me from the South, like from Mississippi and Arkansas and Florida. And then that third day, I get this call from this dude who had an area code that was similar to mine, where we live in the DC area. And the guy said, my name is Bishop Glenn Staples. I'm a pastor of Temple Hill Baptist Church or whatever it was. And first of all, are we related? He kept asking me, are we related? Because he was from West Virginia. And I was from Michigan. And I said, no, I don't think I have any relatives in West Virginia. Long story, he said, well, will you be interested in coming by my place and dressing me in some suits? And he lived like 5 minutes from me. So I ended up going to his house.
Wow.
Some clothes. And what happened was we had such a great relationship. He told me, and I remember this was like very pivotal. Every 4 weeks, I would do a new order with him. He said, every time you bring me my suits, you have a standing order from me. We did this for 3 years. Every 4 I had an order from this guy, a custom order. I was doing clothes with him. And then one time he called me up. I remember it was a Friday and I was off that day. And he said, Malcolm, I need you to meet me at that time it was the Gaylord Hotel in Washington, D.C., which is like a 4-star hotel. And he says, I want you to meet me there at 12 o'clock. It was a Friday. It was like 9. He called me. I said, Bishop, I'm off. I'm not doing anything today. I'm not getting dressed. I haven't shaved. I haven't got a haircut. Hey, boy, get up, shave, put something on your hair or whatever, and come on and meet me at 12 o'clock. And I said, I don't want to do it. He says, man, I'm going to tell you, it's going to change your life. So I got up, kicking and screaming, and went over to the Gaylord Hotel. I had my little bag, my little swatches of fabric and whatever. He said, I want to introduce you to somebody. So I got to the hotel, and in the lobby, he says, look, you don't even know why you're here. I said, no. And I'm mad because it's my day off. He said, I'm about to change it. So we got on the elevator, and we was going up to the penthouse level, right? So he said, well, let me tell you who you're getting ready to meet. I said, I'm getting ready to introduce you to Bishop T.D. Jakes. And
wow,
he's waiting for you in his suite. I'm like, what the? So I'm like, okay. So I got off the elevator, and on this top level, there's a bathroom to the left. So I went to the bathroom because I couldn't contain myself. I was scared. I was really nervous. I was thinking, what in the world? I'm going to meet this dude. At that time I was second guessing. Then I looked in the mirror. I said, Malcolm, what in the world? Why are you scared of this dude? This dude can't do what you do. So I said, he don't have control over me. I said, let me get my act together. I got myself together, walked in that room. The dude said, I remember he opened the door. Oh, wow. He gave me a really, really nice handshake or whatever. And then he said this. He said, man, I want one of those suits like this. And I told him with a straight face, you can't have this. But you like it. And that cracked him up, and he was all done. And that's how it started. And so I walked in, I measured the guy up. And then this is what really solidified everything. The guy asked me the wrong question. He said, what do you think about me? And I said, okay, Malcolm, you can either get kicked out of the room if you tell the truth, or you can tell the truth and just say it's about a relationship. I said, I'm gonna tell this dude what it is. I don't care, whatever. So I said, look, man, you got the wrong balance. He said, well, what do you mean by balance? I said, well, you don't wear your clothes right. Now, look, no, I'm being really, very bold, because I know this dude probably gonna get mad. I said, no, you ain't wearing your clothes. He said, well, tell me what you think and what would you suggest? I said, first of all, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get them clothes off the floor. All right. We're gonna put you in a jacket that fits your body. We're gonna find some colors that go right with your dark complexion. And we're gonna make sure you don't wear clothes that are not flattering. Either you're gonna lose weight, or we gotta find something that fits around that big stomach. Now they looking at me like, what in the hell? And I'm sorry to cuss, but I'm saying, I said, well, you asked me my opinion. I said, you don't need to be wearing orange suits. And you don't need to have your pants hanging on the floor like old Steve Harvey pants. The big old wide legs and a long jacket. He has no butt. He has big stomach. He has wide shoulders.
Oh my God.
So I just told him this is what I would do. I said, as a designer, my job is to be honest. Because if my name is going to be inside your jacket, I don't want to be a part of no buffoonery. So the thing is, I know it's making money, but I don't want to be associated with something that doesn't represent my brand. And I don't care if you're the number one preacher in the world. My brand is my brand. And so he respected me so much for being honest versus just saying something that was just, just to try to appease these dudes. And I had to really realize that, we all have talent. Now, even though he can preach and all, he can't make no suits. So why am I scared of him? And so
Right.
I got myself together, and that really helped me kind of keep a course of action about this business. I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. And I'm good in this lane. I can't preach. I can't do that stuff, but I can put some clothes together. And so I'm good in that lane. And I figured that if I can master my lane, then I can be valuable to something and somebody. So that's kind of been my mantra about everything I do. I just keep it real, man, because I'm trying to eat. At the end of the day, I don't care how I get to the table. If Leslie got to get me to the table, I'm gonna ride right on Leslie's coattails. I don't care. I just eat.
Come on.
And again, sometimes we have to start defining winning in a different way. Winning doesn't necessarily mean I got to get the lobster. I might get me five or six biscuits and a piece of bacon, and I'm full. You got to understand that getting to a table and winning doesn't have to be the definition of somebody else saying what the definition of winning is. And I've really tried to do that with my business, about sales, without how do you measure success in terms of a collection? Does it mean that you sold every piece? Does it mean that people buy your stuff before you put it up and all that? No, it doesn't mean any of that. If you want it, you got to grind for it. And last time if you don't plant seeds, you don't eat. And if I'm a farmer, I put that ground, I ain't getting none in the fall when it's time to sprout. You better plant some seeds if you believe that you're going to stay in the business. If the pandemic didn't teach us anything, it taught us we better be able to pivot. You use the word pivot. You better be able to pivot, because the pandemic didn't take any prisoners. They was killing off everybody. You
say you don't preach. You better preach.
In the retail business, some of these guys and women didn't make it because they didn't have a strategy. Think about it. When you rely on foot traffic to come in your store and you don't have a strategy to get people to come in other than walk in traffic, you're going to be in trouble. Because when the government said your building can't open because we on reduced hours, or the mall says we're not doing regular mall hours, that impacts your business. Because if the people can't come in and you buy on it and then they stop coming, how you eating? And so you don't need strategy. You don't want to do none online because you're not into technical. You don't want to do online e-commerce. You just want to sit there and wait for somebody to make your day. And what happens is when these people can't walk in the door, you're going to starve. And this guy had 3 stores, I remember, and he had no foot traffic. So he ended up losing 2 of his stores because he didn't have a strategy. He got all this inventory. And at some point, PPP ain't going to cover you forever. PPP give you a loan. They may give you a loan and put your back loan or put some on the back end, but at some point they want them ends. And so that's what it taught me about the pandemic. And I'll say this, and I'll let y'all ask me another question. But I remember one of the big things that happened during the pandemic that I embraced, that I was kicking and screaming against originally, was I didn't want to do what I call Facebook Live. Now, Facebook Live has turned into an organic animal for me, because it's very effective, but it didn't start that way. But I remember during the pandemic, one time I did a Facebook Live. I was sitting in Krispy Kreme Donuts, and Krispy Kreme Donuts at the time in the DC area was the only place that let you come in and sit down. They had a little round chair. They had some stuff in the corner. So the manager told me one day, Malcolm, if you want to roll your rack in here and you want to do something on live, you can go ahead and do it. Ain't nobody in here, so you can just put your stuff in the back. So I said, okay. So I put my rack up, and I had some clothes up, and one night I was there selling clothes. And I remember that night, Leslie, I sold 15 suits in one night. I made enough money in that night. I paid my mortgage. I paid bills. I'm just saying, from one night, because I had people buying from me and supporting me. And I still remember somebody called me and asked me a question. And to tell you how people don't really understand. They asked me, Malcolm, with all of those great suits that you make, all those great designs that you do, why in the world are you sitting in a Krispy Kreme selling your suit? And let me fast forward it a little bit. You know the reason why I'm sitting in Krispy Kreme selling suits? But goddamn it, I'm sorry. I sold 15 suits in a night. Now, I don't know what y'all using to calculate, but if I got enough to make my my ends meet, then what I did made sense. Because It doesn't have to be packaged in the right way. And that's why I keep saying stop defining the looks, because a lot of times people look good, they ain't got nothing to do. They ain't got nothing in their pocket because they looking good, but they ain't got nothing to sustain themselves. So my thing was, I don't care how it looks. I don't care what the visual is. I don't care what the packaging is. If I sell 15 suits, it's a good day. And I don't care.
Absolutely.
It's a good day. And ain't nothing you can do about that, because what I just did, I couldn't do sitting up in the Taj Mahal Hotel.
Right, right.
I'm starving. Come on, we gotta stop. I don't care what people think, and I just don't, because at the end of the day, you have to meet the man, you have to meet the woman, you have to meet somebody that says Bank of America don't give a dang if you had a good week or not. Where our money? And so they don't care how you get it. And so my mantra now is I don't care how I eat. I just want to eat. And I don't care who gets the credit, because I'm good enough in my own skin. I don't always have to be the one in charge. I know what I can do. I don't have to prove nothing to Leslie, to you, my man. I ain't got to prove nothing.
Yeah. Oh, what happened? What happened?
When you get to the point where
I don't know what you did.
Ladies and gentlemen. I didn't hear nothing. He left. Hold up. There
Am
he
I
is.
here?
No, there he is. You swapped
Yeah, he
us
got
out.
emotional.
Oh, there you go.
Fine, I got to be quiet. Y'all have
I'll
a
put him
question.
back on.
I can get on the road, y'all.
I'm
This
good.
y'all have to come. I'm just being.
I know you good. You good. You good. Good, Leslie.
But yeah, no, that's kind of been my frame of reference about my business, and it's worked, man. It's like you have to find yourself in the maze and see what works for you, because even if you have influences of people who are in the business, the way they do it don't always work for you. You know, like somebody asked me, Malcolm, why don't you have a brick and mortar building to sell your clothes? And I'm thinking, why do I need a brick and mortar building when I travel half my life? It doesn't make any sense. So I'm on an airplane more than sometimes I'm sitting at home. So why do I need to be in a brick and mortar building paying $10,000 a month for space I don't even need? And so that doesn't make good business sense for me. But y'all know how people sometimes want to frame what a real business should look like, but they're not using the right metric to tell you what the business looks like. A lot of people got buildings. There's a lot of people that look like they're doing the part, but they just starving. They're starving, so they want to look the part. I'm done with that. I've been there, done that. Got some T-shirts. I don't need it. So,
Right.
I'm good.
Right. I think that your designs are they're so classic. I mean, they're classy. They're sexy, but they're classy. And if you had the opportunity to dress one famous person or just somebody you admire, who would it be other than me? He's gone again.
Hold up. He's moving. Coming back. Uh-oh. He must have hit him. No, he probably hit a dead spot. Hold on. Now.
You might have to log back on. Oh no.
His mic's off. Hold on. We'll give him a minute.
Does this happen sometimes?
Probably where he's at. Hold on, let me move you back.
Yeah, now I'm the star.
No, hold on. We gotta wait. As soon as he comes back in. Well, he's very interesting.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I watch him a lot on his lives. And he puts out some little nuggets, I'm telling you.
Well, the business nugget earlier was actually, it's really good insight. A lot of people don't do it that way. Like you said, he's like COVID.
But he's a business major though. That's what he majored in.
All right, here he comes.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
That's okay.
Okay.
You good?
Let me answer your question about, you asked me about who would I want to dress. Or
Yes.
a celebrity or just anybody? I mean,
Celebrity or anybody you admire that you would just love to dress.
Well, I've always said if I get, and obviously it's hindsight now, I wish I had a chance to dress Barack Obama, because when he
Man,
president and everything was new and everything was exciting when he first started, and there was opportunity, small window. In fact, I knew some of the people that was connected to him, and I thought I was in line to possibly get in front of his people, and it just didn't happen. But if I had a chance, I would have done that, because I had an interest at the time of executing some real change. He was preaching about change. I wanted to see the first African American for them how to wear a three-piece suit. I wanted to do something so bold that they say, man, only a brother would wear a suit, and I know he's in the Oval Office. And I was wanted to just push up against the whole norm of what people should look like based on what others have done in the past. So that would be my ideal. There's no question about it. I wish I had an opportunity to dress him. Even now, I would jump at an opportunity if I had a chance to make a suit for him. No question about it.
What about female?
Well, again, it's not necessarily.
There's too many to name. It's too many to name, I'm sure.
My celebrity crush is, I'd love to dress Kelly Rowland. And the reason why I met her in LA, and I thought she was one of the nicest people I ever met in life. And she just was so down to earth and so real. I'm like, man, if I ever had a chance to dress a celebrity, in my mind, she would be the one, because she has a Malcolm aesthetic. She dresses like I make clothes. And so I think it would be very easy to put her in something that I would create, and I think she would. Mm-hmm. So that would be kind of a celebrity crush for me. I mean, I like.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, like
I do know that your sister also supplies a lot of your jewelry for your shows.
Yes. Well, that was one of the things that just kind of happened. My sister she started doing this paparazzi jewelry. Now, the paparazzi jewelry is not very expensive, but it looks expensive. And so when you're doing magazines, who cares? Who cares if it's coming from Chanel, it's coming from Janae? Who cares? It looks good. It looks good. So she had all this really sparkly, nice jewelry. And so what I would do as a way to support her business and a way to put her on, I would just go to her lives and look at all women. I'm usually the only dude on there. So I'm buying jewelry from. And then it became kind of a comical thing, because everybody would know, here come Malcolm. He on there. He gonna buy up all the jewelry. And I would usually buy 8 pieces from her every time I would come on. And it would help her business, but it was also helping me, because I would be able to use these pieces to dress my models, because I would get certain kind of colors and stuff like that. She would always have the big jewelry waiting for me, because I buy all the big jewelry. And so it became kind of those things. And I've been doing that. We've been doing it now almost 2 years now. I've only used her jewelry. I haven't used anybody else in terms of my collection. I only use her stuff. Anything that the models wear is my sister's stuff. And so that's kind of been my tribute to her, helping her business as well as helping me. And I can put her on and say jewelry provided. And she's got a lot of customers as a result of that too, from that.
Miss Janice is gorgeous. She is gorgeous. She's gorgeous. You have a beautiful family. And I'm just so proud that, I don't know, everybody that comes from Saginaw, Saginaw is really small, but I just love to see when people get on. I just love it. I share a lot. And it just seems like everybody just kind of looks out for each other when it comes to, there's no crab in a barrel. You know what I'm saying? Like, you helped your sister, we appreciate you coming on, and, we're just a small podcast. Hopefully we won't stay small, but giving this interview, we really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I love my city. I don't like some of the stuff that happens like in a lot of places.
Yeah.
But it's home. And I like anytime I get a chance to do something to incorporate people from Saginaw, my friends or whatever, I try to do it, because, I never forget that no matter where you go, you was born, you was raised in Saginaw, Michigan. And that culture and what we learn as kids growing up and being around in those communities, that stuff never leaves you. I sometimes get a Saginaw fiend. I sometimes come in here and I say, I want some Saginaw tacos. They don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yes, they have no idea.
We don't eat those kinds of kinds of tacos. We eat tacos where you put the toothpick in them and you got the
And
meat.
drop them in the grease and fry them. We
So,
make them 80 and 20. We make 120 at a time.
yeah, now when we say a taco party, it's a taco party. Everybody eats. That's a whole different level here in the DC area. They don't know nothing about that. So, but that's just kind of some things to never forget. That's just a culture thing that you learn growing up there, man. All you got to do is say somebody from Saginaw tacos, and everybody knows what you're talking about. You ain't got to explain it. You don't have to define it. They just know you eating with a bunch of people, got a bunch of things on a plate, and you're tearing them up. That's all we know. And that's what all a party. And it ain't no music, ain't a whole lot of other stuff going on. You just eating tacos and drinking pop. Let's go.
Yeah,
and so,
and not no soda. We're having pop. Mr. Malcolm.
Yeah.
Mr. Malcolm, how is it at New York Week? I mean, Fashion Week. How is that? I mean, oh my God, that just seems so awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy because everything fashion is happening that week or during fashion. I mean, any kind of a fashion show, anybody has something to show that's odd, that's new, that's interesting. It's being shown at some level on some runway, some staging. It's just everything, all things are about fashion. And then you can get kind of lost in the maze because it's very massive. And so for me, it's very targeted for me. I'm looking for a showcase that gives me the best spotlight of my collection. So I'm not looking for all the hoopla. I'm looking for the best, because what I tend to do is showcase my clothes, and then my strategy is use those clothes to sell. So I usually think about showcasing, I think about publishing my work, and then I think about selling my work. And that order, that's how you have to do it. You show it, you publicize it and market it, and then you sell it. Hopefully within those 3 strands, you get rid of what you created. And then there's a buzz for either more stuff like that or whatever. And that's how you measure how successful that collection is. And you got to show your attitude within 15 pieces. So what am I trying to do this year? Like this year, my new collection is called
we got the exclusive. We got the exclusive. Go ahead.
You know this, yeah, Adorables. Now I had a conversation, and Fedorables in Spanish lingo is talking about a woman wearing a hat. So my new collection is kind of a hodgepodge of women wearing hats, bold hats, and color. So I'm using a color that I was originally scared to use because it's a risky color. I'm using hot pink and I'm using green, like the AKA colors. Now it's not made for the AKAs. This has nothing to do with that, but they're gonna love it because I'm using those colors as a part of my new collection, which is hard for a suit guy because you have to be careful. You know, if you don't do it right, you can look clownish if you don't. If it's not done pristine, like because I'm a couture suit maker, so I'm going to give it a nice suit, but you got to have the right color and you got to be styled the right way in order for somebody to accept a bold color like a hot pink and green as a foundation color. So it's going to be a challenge for me because I've never done this color and I've never tried to do this, so I'm stepping out of my own comfort zone to see if I can be great, you know.
I'm sorry, it's a plane flying over.
Yeah.
I heard you say that I think last week sometime, and you were talking about the hot pink and the green. And I was out shopping. I had some place to be, and I seen a pink blazer. I'm like, oh boy, Malcolm would be proud of me today. I'm putting on this pink blazer.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm just it's a risk for me. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, when I first started thinking about it, I said, you know what? This has been in my head for 3 years. But I was afraid to just jump out there. I'm thinking, oh, Malcolm, you don't need to do that. So I said, okay, my last fashion show I did was safe color, but it was a risky color in that it's hard to show an all black collection. Black and silver is what I did. It's a tough way to do that because people tend to think black is morbid. And what I tried to do is with the last collection, I didn't care what people thought about the color. I wanted them to see the work. So my focus was on the craftsmanship, not what people thought about the color. I wanted you to say that damn suit is bad. that tuxedo is bad. Not that it's black, that it's bad. The whole theme for me was look at the work. Look at the detail. Look at what he did to those buttons. Look at how he blinged that out. Look at how he made a tuxedo for a woman that fits her body and not some boxy tuxedo that fits a stiff dude going to a wedding. So that was kind of my whole idea about that collection. And some people got it. And I know it was successful because I sold just about everything.
Oh wow.
So,
you eating again.
So let me ask you this. New fashion designers, creators who look up to you, what would you give them what would you tell them now, like coming up now?
Well, the first thing I would say to anybody and everybody, it's applicable to almost anything. You can't cut corners. If you're gonna be good at whatever you're gonna be good at, you have to be the masters of the foundation. You have to be able to create something, that no matter what the trends are, what the culture is, or how fashion comes and style comes and all that stuff, you have to be able to have something that withstands all of change. So I would say you can't cut corners. And if you're going to be a great suit maker, if you're not a master of the foundation of building a suit, you'll never be great at it because you'll always be trying to find a way to get by quicker versus making it better. So my thought and my thing is learn the basics. And that may sound very basic, but you have to learn the basics in order to be great at it. Because you think about all the people who are really good at something, they do something extremely well. And if you do something extremely well and you stay in the lane of being extremely good with it, you tend to have a great product because your consistency is always there. You're not trying to find a quick way of getting it done. That's why a lot of times Chinese, what they do is they'll go down in the mall. You ever see a bunch of Chinese people walking around in the mall looking at the windows? They trying to steal an idea so they can sell that $200 suit for $18.99 on Amazon. So that's what you see. They looking for the quick way of making what you just created with all your heart and try to sell it in bulk.
There you go. Leslie, any questions? Can you wrap it up?
No, I'm just so in awe. I mean, I know when we get off this podcast, it'll be 1,000 questions. Where are you going next? Where are you showing next?
Well, I'm going to LA Fashion Week in March. Originally I was going to do New York Fashion Week in February, but I said no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to do LA Fashion Week in March, and then I've been invited. I got a show in Florida. I'm going to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I've been invited to be the keynote, or not the keynote, but the main designer at a fashion show in the Dominican Republic in May.
Oh wow!
I'm doing New York Fashion Week in September, and then I'm going to London or Paris in the latter part of September after New York Fashion Week. So I got a lot of stuff coming down the pike, but I have to find some time to create because I don't care how good you are, if you don't have a product to show, you're gonna be just I'm not showing anything I've shown before. So I already have my February collection already done. So I decided I'm gonna keep my Fedorables collection for New York Fashion Week in September, and then I'm gonna build some stuff in between before I get to some of these other shows in the Dominican and all that stuff.
Okay. You staying busy. Look like you're going to be eating for a long time, Mr. Malcolm.
I'm just trying to be relevant and keep it going because that's really what it is, man. You gotta keep reinventing yourself and keep putting yourself out there and keep marketing. I mean, as an independent business, man, you got to market. You are your own marketing company, your own PR company. You gotta pack it. You gotta ship it. You gotta sell it. You gotta you do what you do.
Oh, I know.
If you get lucky, you'll have somebody come and help you. But when you ain't got an assistant, like I'm looking for an assistant right now. When you ain't got an assistant, you got to pack it, ship it, correlate it, inventory. I mean, you got to do all of it. And that becomes your work. I mean, Mondays is my ship day. Everybody knows. You'll see me at UPS, FedEx, USPS. I'm shipping stuff. And as long as I'm shipping stuff, I'm doing okay. When I ain't got a lot of days going on, I ain't selling nothing. So I ain't mad at shipping. That means I'm in between jobs. I can use another one. I can use one. Don't make me show up in this new red car down there. last time I told somebody on my live that I was looking for an assistant, girl, I had like 20 people send me inboxes. I'm available.
Watch right after this one.
Serious. I'm like, oh my God. Created a
We're gonna bleep that out, and I'm gonna take that position.
Mr. Mark, Mr. Stickler, I'd like to thank you for coming on our podcast. We're going to give a shout out where you can reach you out on your Facebook, live, and everything.
Yeah. I'm at Malcolm Staples on Facebook. You can find me there, and then on Instagram, my Instagram is executive DEXECUTIVEDONE, executive one. So I'll number one spelled out. You can find me on Instagram there, and I don't do Twitter and all that, but so Instagram and Facebook are the two main ways to catch me.
All right, Mr. Malcolm. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you all for having me. I appreciate the invitation.
We're gonna have you back on, so don't try to run. We're gonna have you back on.
Yeah.
This is great. I think this is great that y'all have a great podcast, and I wish y'all all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.